So good day everyone, my name is Jana Michelle Romanes Pinido and I'm going to tackle the lesson 3, which is the editing web pages and organizing files. First is the objectives. So in this discussion, we will be able to identify the different components of a web page and also be able to use a text editor to edit HTML code and also be able to use a file manager to organize files and folders. Next is according to Matlana S 2024, website redesign and editing are essentials for maintaining an effective online presence. So this process involves refining content, optimizing HTML tags, integrating multimedia elements, and ensuring the site is visually appealing and functional across various devices. Additionally, it is crucial to consider how this change will impact user experience in search engine interaction to enhance visibility and engagement. Move on. Now let's talk about editing web pages in HTML. So in editing web pages in HTML, this process involves various tasks from refining text and images to optimizing HTML tags and integrating multimedia. So remember, it is essential to consider how changes display across different devices and this interaction, which is the search engine. So, according to Matlana S 2024, websites redesigns and editing are essential for maintaining an effective online presence. So, this process involves refining content, optimizing HTML tags, integrating multimedia elements, and ensuring the site is visually appealing and functional across various devices. Additionally, it is crucial to consider how this change will impact user experience and search engine interaction to enhance visibility and engagement. So next is the editing web pages in HTML. Editing a web page in HTML is just the way one creates or change the structures and contents of one web pages. So the sections describe some steps and tips necessary for effective editing of HTML files. So this process involves various tasks, from refining text and images to optimizing HTML tags and integrating multimedia. So remember, it is essential to consider how changes in display across different devices and their interaction with search engines. So first is we're going to choose our editor. If you have a Mac, you can use TextEdit. If you have Linux, you can use gedit, and if you have Windows, then you can use our Notepad or Sublime Text. So next is the basic structure and HTML documents. So here is our example, image example. So next is the tools for editing. Is you can use simple text editors for basic editing or more advanced options like Visual Studio Code or Sublime Text for features like syntax highlighting. So and also modern browsers also for you to edit HTML directly using developer tools. Move on. Now let's talk about the basic steps for editing in HTML. So first is open your text editor. Next is create and file name index HTML, and next is copy the so first is open your text editor, and next is create a file name called index HTML. Next is copy basic structure into this file, and then edit the title tag to reflect your content and save your changes and open the file in the browser. So as I said, edit the title tag to reflect your content. So before, our title tag was my first heading, and in the second page we edit into homepage and homepage. Next is so here's the output. If from editing your HTML. Then save the changes and reload the file into your browser. So move on. Now let's talk about the organizing HTML files and folders. So according to Sanchez R 2022, in building an HTML5 applications, you may also use the root of your server as a main container, and so the folder you must create your application index file or main. Generally, your application will be comprised of HTML, CSS, images, and JavaScript files. Some of those files will be specific to your application, and some others can be used across multiple applications. This is a very important distinction. To do an effective group of your files, we must start by separating general purposes files from applications specific resources. These simple separations make navigating through your files a lot easier. Once you place libraries and general purposes files inside the vendors folder, it is clear that the files you will be editing will be located in the resource folder. Aside from HTML code, the rest of the files in your application are mostly CSS, JavaScript, and images. Chances are that you already group your application file and subfolders that correspond to these kinds of assets. Some final recommendations have to be made around folder and file names. As a general rule, make sure that you use lowercase letter in all folder and file names. When using multiple words to make a file or a folder, separate them with a hyphen. So organizing your files is key of efficient management. Separating general purposes files from application-specific resources. So, as I said earlier, use lowercase letters in all folders names. For multiple words, separates them with hyphens. And that would be the end of our topic. Thank you for listening.